Thank you, Kendall. But you can't hide. I said can't hide. What you do, you can run, but you can't hide. Said you can run, but you can't hide. I said can't hide. What you do, but you can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. I said can't hide. What you do, you can run, but you can't hide. What up, what up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm MoedotJ. This is the Mo You Know. This is MoedotJ. We're doing it on both channels because this is a Netflix documentary. I didn't go live yesterday. I was doing some running around because, you know, I'm going on a trip next week. And I decided to sit down and watch all 3 of these episodes. Now, if I could, I would show you everything on Netflix. But today I actually came prepared. And I got a lot of different videos that we're going to run through today. And we're just going to keep the timeline together as if it was on the Netflix. But we're going to be integrating everything that they use in Netflix, but from the actual news articles and news media outlets. Now, if you don't know about this, this is Laci Peterson. It's a 3-part series on Netflix. Peacock also dropped the documentary on this. So it's like, I don't know if they kind of working together saying, hey, this is going to be the primary subject or crime that we're going to all do documentaries over. But this happened in 2002 out in the Bay Area, Modesto, all the out, you know, saying in the Bay of California. So I was a junior in high school. No, because this happened in 2002 going into 2003. So this is my senior year when this happened. And I remember this being on the news. My mom was telling me about it because it happened around New Year's, Christmas, New Year's time. And the story is crazy. Now, Scott Peterson is the husband who is currently not on death row anymore. They went back and they looked at his trial, and I'll play some footage for that, What he is life without parole now. They went back and changed it because one of the jurors was messed up. The judge messed up with the jury selection. So he does have life without parole right now. He still maintains his innocence, but in the court of law, he's guilty. Now, this young lady, she ended up going missing in 2002. He allegedly went fishing during the time, and we're going to go through everything. We got interrogation footage. We got well, we don't have too much of like the fringe. You're gonna have to go on Netflix and watch that. It'll be better for you. But we'll just give the overview of what happened from start to finish, and then we'll talk about some interesting moments. There were even some people that committed a robbery during this exact same time and told the police, "We did the robbery. We didn't do the kidnapping." That's how serious this case was. That's how serious this case was. We're gonna go through all of that. I'm gonna play the Netflix trailer so you guys can kind of get an understanding of what's going on. Because with the Netflix trailer, we have Laci's mother speaking, we have her friend speaking. There's I think it's a family member of, I think it's two family members of him on there speaking. We have the actual investigator that was on the case, the detective. So you'll get more in depth on the Netflix. So I'm gonna play that trailer and then we'll jump into it. We'll read over what happened and then we'll go and watch all the videos that correspond to each moment. He's saying he's innocent, y'all. I mean, he was found guilty. Now let me see. Where's my downloads? I believe he did it too. There's no doubt in my mind. I believe he did it. We were talking about it today at work. And man. Let's see. Okay, here's the trailer. First, we're gonna do the trailer for Netflix so you guys can see what Netflix has to offer. Like I said, Peacock also has a documentary. I haven't watched that one, but I mean, I've seen many A&E did a documentary on this a while back, so I watched them all.
I remember before I met Scott, Laci telling me all these things about him. And I remember saying, as her mother, I hope he's not filling her with crap. I have learned to go with a gut feeling.
911. Yes, my daughter's been missing since this morning. She's 8 months pregnant.
When Laci met Scott, they were just a cute couple.
Scott wasn't engaging the media. We figured that eventually he would talk to us.
The phone rings. This lady tells me she's been dating Scott Peterson.
So what do you want to be together with me?
I think we care for each other.
Laci believed that he was who he presented himself to be. He was getting ready to run.
He had cell phones, credit cards.
This was not somebody who was waiting for Laci to come back.
You guys are having problems, marriage problems.
I'll run it back one more time, but I also forgot to mention, then, of course, in a lot of these murder mysteries that we watch, there was an affair that was going on, and the girlfriend that he was in an affair with, she called the police and told the police, "I've been dating Scott for a while." Now, Scott's been going back and forth. We'll talk about that once we get into it. But yeah, this guy Scott, he's different. He's different. We'll just break it down step by step. I'll run this back, and this is actually a letter here from, I think her name is Amber Fry, but this is the letter from the woman he was having an affair with. So it's all kinds of wild stuff going on. What up, Eric? Eric over on the Mo You Know. All right, here we go. Run this back one more time, and then we'll jump into it because it's wild.
I remember before I met Scott, Laci telling me all these things about him. And I remember saying, as her mother, I hope he's not filling her with crap. I have learned to go with a gut feeling.
911. Yes, my daughter's been missing since this morning. She's 8 months pregnant.
When Laci met Scott, they were just a cute couple.
Scott wasn't engaging the media. We figured that eventually he would talk to us.
The phone rings. This lady tells me she's been dating Scott Peterson.
So what do you want to be together with me?
I think we care for each other.
Laci believed that he was who he presented himself to be. He was getting ready to run.
He had cell phones, credit cards.
This was not somebody who was waiting for Laci to come back.
You guys are having problems, marriage problems.
Oh, damn, man. I was just breaking the whole show down for y'all, man. Dang. Well, that's the end of the show right there, you guys. Thank you for having a good live. Scott Peterson is guilty. Life without parole. Have a good evening. My bad. My bad, y'all. I just broke it down. But, oh, yeah. But what I was saying is we know he's guilty. And it's just, we'll go through everything. Where Scott messed up, since we know he's guilty, I'm just going to give some pointers. He was talking to the police too much. Yeah, you got to talk to the police, but he was giving them too much information. He bought a boat on December 9th. No one knew he had a boat. He got his fishing license a little bit after that. He was keeping his boat at his job. It's just a lot of stuff. So he got away with this for 4 months. Now, there was always suspicion that he was the one that did it. You know, they always point fingers at the significant other. But if he would have never mentioned he was like on the boat, if he would have got rid of the boat, he may have got away with this. But he was doing too much talking. And luckily for the family, at least they could have some closure that her body ended up washing up. Now, the body was decapitated and limbs were off of the body. But the whole story is all because he didn't want to get caught up with the woman he was having an affair with. So he could have just left, man. Yeah, you'd be stuck with 18 years of child support, but you wouldn't be in jail. I don't know. Well, let's go ahead and see what this is. All right, let me see. This is on OK Magazine. 9 bombshells from the new Scott Peterson documentary, from Laci's disappearance to his affair and more. The documentary series American Murder, Laci Peterson explores the mysterious surrounding death of Scott Peterson's wife. Listen to this article now. Well, let me see.
9 bombshells from the new Scott Peterson.
Oh, no, we can't listen to that voice all night. Scott Peterson used a strong word when he called Laci Peterson's mom. And like I said, we'll run through all of this. It says Netflix new 3-part documentary series, American Murder. Laci Peterson, released August 14th, dives into the death of 8-month pregnant Laci Peterson on Christmas Eve in 2002. The involvement of her husband, Scott, in the case. In the first part of the true crime show, because it is 3-part series, Laci's mother, Sharon Rocha, shared what happened on the day her daughter disappeared. Gosh, it's hard to believe it was 20 years ago. And on the other hand, it seems like it wasn't 20 years ago. Nothing's going to change what really happened. Nothing can change the truth, as you recall. They said on December 24th, the mother was having a Christmas Eve event at her house when she received a call from Scott, who asked if Laci was with her mother. Sharon told him no. Scott said, well, she's missing. And the mother says, what do you mean missing? She reported asking the son-in-law. She added in the documentary, I mean, people don't use the term lightly, so I told him to call her friends and find out if anybody has seen her. Now, that's what the mom is saying. You don't just use missing. If I come home and I'm looking for, let's say I'm looking for my nephew. My nephew, what, 25? He ain't at the house. I'm not going to call somebody and say, hey, he's missing. I'm going to try to find out where he is. Maybe just not answering the phone. Maybe doing something. You know what I mean? You're going to call around and find out where they are before you just jump and say he's missing. Or, yeah, he's missing. Or in this case, she's missing. Yeah, he got charged twice. It was for her and the unborn. But when you say somebody's missing, now right there, you're looking like, wait a minute. If they're missing, they've been gone for a while. There's evidence of something that says, well, it looks like somebody may have kicked in the door. You know what I mean? You don't just say somebody's missing. Scott Peterson showed bizarre behavior while searching for Laci Peterson. Gloria Gomez, a reporter for KOVR who covered the case, described Scott as a very reserved and very distant person. I thought he was kind of odd that Scott wasn't engaging with the media trying to get a word out of his missing wife. About his missing wife, said Gloria. So I thought, well, everybody handles stress differently. So everybody kind of gave him his room. The comment resonated with the Modesto Police Department Detective John Bueller. He said about the same Scott's behavior. You know, he's seen it too. Whether it was Laci's friends or Laci's family, all of them were anxious, panicked, and they had a sense of urgency. Scott didn't exhibit any of that, John continued. And then when it comes to asking for a complete cooperation from him, he dodges that. Scott, who agreed to have a polygraph test a day after Laci's disappearance. So the day after, they said they brought him in, they were talking to him. We got some of the interrogation footage. They say, hey, do you want to do a polygraph test? The very next day, he changed his mind and refused to take it after speaking with his father. Well, you know me. Never do anything, even if you're innocent, never do anything without a lawyer present, because anything you say can and will be used against you. Now, polygraph won't, but it's right most of the time, and they can, you know, say continue to look at you, but never ever talk to the police without a lawyer, even if you are innocent. All right. Scott and Laci Peterson had different dreams for their family. Now, this is what's interesting here, because she was 8 months pregnant. The couple's neighbor, Kristen Reed, revealed in a documentary on Netflix that Laci was made to be a mom. And she almost had that kind of aura about her. Before getting pregnant, Laci reportedly asked her mom questions about what it would be like to bear a child. Sharon shared, I remember her housewarming, she called me, and she was crying at the time because she wanted to get pregnant and Scott didn't. Scott didn't want to have a child. So she told the friend, and the friends are in the documentary, it's 3 of them. They're sitting around on the couch, but they all felt a certain type of way about Scott. 6 months after the conversation, the mother reportedly received a call from Laci saying they were going to trying to conceive. Curious Sharon asked what the couple's plans were, and her daughter told Scott had changed his mind. So within 6 months of him saying, I don't want no kids, he changed his mind. Then they're getting into the affair. So this is just like some bombshells that happened. This isn't really going in order, and I kind of wanted to stay going in order. So let me see. Hold on. That's 2003. All right, so we'll go into the documentaries from here, because this is going to jump us into what he was doing with Amber and towards the missing. I mean, like the actual search. So let me see. So we got over on ABC. What's up, Claire? Candy said, I just watched the documentary. He thought he was slick. He was just stupid. Yeah, man. Like, you got to go in there and watch it, because they do go in depth. I'm about to play. It's a 5-part series on ABC that I got. It's little stuff that the Netflix documentary is going to tell you. As far as he bought man, it's so much, because he bought a boat that no one knew about. I think they'll show that in the interrogation room. But then he was talking about he was using the silver hook. But it turns out when the police actually did the investigation, they found out that the silver hook never came out of the package. So he didn't use it. He's messing up on his story when they have the actual evidence. They have photos of umbrellas. You know, the umbrellas you got at your tables and stuff sitting out back. They got photos of that he moved from the house to his job where he was storing the boat that no one knew about. They got that. They got buckets of there's a bucket of cement, and they showed on the table. They took a picture of that with the evidence. It looked like there were 6 of them made, looking like he was trying to tie stuff down. Man, all right, here we go. Part 1. Well, hold on, let me see. This breaks his silence. This will give us an overview of what's going on now, and then we'll go into the ABC stuff. So here we go.
It's the chilling case that's still a national obsession.
He didn't want to be a father, and this is the way he thought about getting out of it.
Now, for the first time since going to prison, convicted murderer Scott Peterson is speaking out.
Why should anyone want to hear your side of the story?
Because I didn't kill my family.
In Face to Face with Scott Peterson by Peacock, a division of our parent company Comcast, the 51-year-old gives his own version of events from behind prison walls. In interviews done over an entire year, Peterson, appearing in good health with longer hair, continues to maintain his innocence and is confident in ongoing efforts to free him.
There's no forensic evidence. There's nothing to tie him to the murder.
Peterson was sentenced to death in 2004 for the 2002 murders of his wife Laci and their unborn son Connor, after their bodies washed up in San Francisco Bay, near where Peterson said he'd gone fishing months earlier.
She trusted her husband, and he betrayed her.
In the Netflix docuseries American Murder, Laci Peterson, Laci's at the center of the story. Her mother, Sharon Rocha, speaking out for the first time in years about Peterson's conviction.
I can't say we were all excited and happy about it. That's not the feeling that I had at all. Just a relief.
Also speaking out, Peterson's former girlfriend, Amber Fry, whose decision to come forward about their relationship helped prosecutors establish a motive.
On the stand, I wasn't just sitting there alone, but I was sitting there for Laci and her unborn child.
In face-to-face, Peterson admits his affair with Fry was a terrible mistake, saying he withheld that information from police to focus on finding Laci. In 2020, California's Supreme Court overturned Peterson's death sentence, citing jury selection errors by the trial judge, and resentenced him to life without parole. He was denied a new trial in 2022. Now backed by the LA Innocence Project, Peterson is trying again.
So let's pick it up there. What are the next steps as Peterson tries to get this new trial?
So his team is trying to win a new trial by finding new evidence, especially DNA evidence with advancing technology. So far, the court has only agreed to allow new DNA testing of a single piece of duct tape that was found on Laci Peterson's pants. Prosecutors, in the meantime, are calling this a fishing expedition, and Scott Peterson's family continues to maintain his innocence, and they believe that the new evidence will show that he's innocent.
All right, Emily, thank you. We should mention that the docuseries Face to Face with Scott Peterson will be streaming on Peacock August 20th.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show.
That's kind of messed up. Y'all not gonna show love to Netflix and them airing theirs on the 14th before y'all, but y'all use a clips and you only shout out Peacock. I see how y'all doing there. But yeah, so Torian, he's saying what they were saying in the Netflix documentary, his first time ever using the boat was when he went out there that day. I'm sure he probably went out there before, but he told the police the first time he ever used the boat was when he went out there. And that's why I say he should have never said anything about the boat. No one knew he had the boat. He should have got rid of the boat. But yeah, he went out there, man. He disposed of that body. Now he's in the Innocent Project program or whatever it is. He's trying to get out of there. He got life without parole right now. But so they said they're going to be looking at DNA off of a piece of duct tape inside of the boat. Inside of his boat, there was a needle nose plier, and it had some of her hair inside of the pliers. So I don't know what he would be doing with the plier, but her body was decapitated and her limbs were cut off. So, because they had to run the DNA sample on it to verify if it was her or not. But yeah, he had the pliers in the boat. No, man, this is wild. Like, so we're gonna. What was that? That's One Last Chance. All right, here we go. Part 1.
Here.
You got to remember, this is 2002. So when you look at this board, it isn't like now. You don't have all the surveillance cameras that you have. They're not pinging your phone. Everyone doesn't have cell phones out recording you. Oh, I seen this person. Or they may have had a video. I seen that car with the boat pass by me. So you had to really get out there and get in the field and do some investigating back then. Now we can see how in depth this goes, but there's 5 parts to this, and then this will pretty much cover everything. Now, see, this is where I'm gonna start, saying pointing out stuff for the case. I don't know how in depth they're gonna go with it, but he said he last seen her about 9:30. Then he went off to go fishing. Now, where he went fishing was 2 hours away from where they lived, and he told the police that this is his first time ever going fishing in that boat. So they were like, "Why would you go 2 hours away from fishing?" So what we were doing today was trying to do the same thing that we do with our own little boy. We were trying to piece it all together. Now, if the dog came up missing and just came back with his leash on it, because the neighbor put the dog back in the yard, so they thought the dog just got out. So what it seems like is in that morning, because they said he wasn't messy with the way he unalived her. So I'm assuming that he may have suffocated her before she left. But the morning of, it looks like he did whatever he did to her, put her in the back of the vehicle, and then put those umbrellas and everything to cover her up. And then he let the dog go, because there was no way for him to double back and let the dog go if he had to go 2 hours away for fishing. You see what I'm saying? So that morning he had to take her. He probably took the dog out, let the dog just run loose to make it appear that she's missing, drove her to his job where the boat was, and loaded up everything there, and then continued on with his fishing expedition. Because there's no way he could have doubled back, because the dog was missing while he was gone. I'm gonna pull it up. I got it over here. I'm gonna pull it up. You see what I'm saying? The dog couldn't come up missing unless he let the dog out earlier in the morning, and then he took her and he drove off. Yeah, I was at work today, like, wait a minute. How could the dog come up? So he had to have taken her earlier. Hey man, we don't need all these details about what the hell Scott got going on. Take us to the day of the disappearance. All right? That's what we want to get to.
Hi everyone.
All right, so that's part 1. And then, like Kendall said, we're going, always got to have the Google Maps up. So this is where he said he traveled to, Brooks Island. Now, Brooks Island it's in the San Francisco Bay. Now, the body was discovered. They were saying the body was discovered along here. Now, Brooks Island, where they're from, is Modesto. Now, it's about 1 hour 48, 2 hours, depending on what route you take. So he drove 2 hours with the boat and the body over here to the bay. Now, I don't know which dock he went off of, but he said he rode past Brooks Island. So he didn't even go out to the ocean. He just went right here inside of the bay. And what he thought was, of course, I mean, Google wasn't like a thing you had like Yahoo. Now, when you hear people saying like cement feet, when you throw cement into the water, cement is going to float. The reason cement floats is because you got air in there. You got to put the rebarb in there in order for it to stay down. So if you just pour a bucket of concrete, eventually it's going to rise to the top. Now, allegedly, they said it was 6 buckets that they had that he like tried to wrap the body up on. But if you're wrapping it up in tarp, it's eventually going to come off. You're just using regular rope. But automatically, the concrete is going to float to the top after a while. But this just shows you where he went. So he drove 2 hours, and he thought dumping the body somewhere in the bay was going to be good enough. It would suffice, but no. And this is what I mean. He was telling the police too much information. Like, why would you tell him in the area you went to? You could have easily said one of these other lakes or like a river or something, but you drove 2 hours, was already made it suspicious. Like, you got lakes right over here. They're like 20, 30 minutes away. You got the Modesto Reservoir. What is this? Turtle Oak Lake. But he drove 2 hours, so This is where they were out by Oakland. All right, we're gonna go into part 2. What up, Trill? Part 2. He going too. Yeah, she curled her hair. She curled her hair to go walk the dog. Come on, Scott. He said it was raining and cold outside, so he didn't go play golf. He decided to go fishing in a metal boat while it's raining to become a magnet to lightning. And then she got up and went to walk the dog, pregnant, 8 months pregnant, to walk the dog while it was raining and cold outside. What pregnant woman is going to go walk the dog at 8 months when it's raining and cold outside? And you leave your wife on Christmas Eve to go fishing 2 hours away while it's raining instead of going to play golf. It's like, man, I don't think he thought this through at all. He just, man, I can get rid of this body. It ain't going to be nothing. And curled her hair up. That's what I'm saying. You just going, let me curl my hair up, watch Martha Stewart, grab me some coffee, and go walk the dog while it's raining. I barely go to work when it's raining. You think I'm going to walk a dog while it's raining? Hell no. I already hate the smell of wet dog. So I know she didn't get up at 8 months pregnant. You know what? It's raining outside. Who gives a damn? I'm 3 or 4 days away from giving birth. Let me go walk the dog. If it's raining like this, you let the dog out in the backyard. Hey, run around, pee, do what you got to do. You got to come back in. Today ain't going to be a walk day. I'm sorry. It's not going to be a walk day. You trying to cover your track. Hey, baby, I ain't going to be able to make it back. I hope you get that basket for Papa. Yeah, okay, Scott. That's what I'm saying, man. When you watch this, it's like, man, what the hell? He got away with it for 4 months. Now, you know, there was little stuff that he was messing up on, like all the quick Miss J. You got to remember, this is 2002. I don't think they were pinging towers back then. Let me see something. When did police start? Pinging, well, in the 80s, yeah. But that's the thing. I mean, he admits where he was at, though. So him calling off the cell phone, this is him trying to cover his trace to make it seem like, now I called her. It was a normal day. I was letting her know that I couldn't show up to go to the Christmas dinner. I went fishing, because he tells the police exactly where he's fishing. That's where I pulled up Brooks Island. So the police know exactly where he is. So like pinging the phone wouldn't do anything, because I think her phone was still at the house. So he left the phone at the house to make it seem like he called to check up on her. And that's why he told the mom she was missing. So it's not a problem about his location, because he gives the police his location, and that's where the body ended up washing up at too. He washed his clothes when he got home, took the clothes out, put his clothes in there and washed it. He had milk and pizza, and he ate pizza in the shower. I've never been in a rush where I thought, let me eat and get in the shower. Now, there has been times when I was in a rush and I brushed my teeth in the shower. But brushing my teeth in the shower is different than me eating a slice of freaking pizza in the shower. How do you even do that? Like, you washing up on the outside and eating? Like, because you know he's using a bar of soap. No disrespect. Well, white folk don't use towels or loofahs, and they just get the soap. And they only hit the upper extremities. They don't wash their legs. They feel like all the dirty soap is going to rinse on down their body. So we know he ain't washed his leg or his feet. Probably ain't washed his tail either. But he was eating pizza with one hand and washing up with the other hand. That's how much of a rush he was in. After he washed the pizza down with milk, which doesn't even sound good. He was in a rush, all right. I gotta take this off. Man, I'm telling you, this story, and it only gets worse for him. It only gets worse. Hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second. Nah, way. Yeah, give me 1 second. We're gonna go share. Eric said F you too. Hey, I see. Hold on. Looks like the YouTube chat is. All right, so it's it's not this one. It's the first one that popped up. But just hit that link and then we'll just finish the doc over there. It was just getting good. We was getting to the good part right here. Daggone ABC. They said you can watch the whole first part, but you can't watch the second. Let me see. We'll just have to end it off. Yeah, we'll just have to end this one. But shoot, we got it in. Let me see. What exactly is it? Let me go to the studio. Yeah, but they don't even show nothing on here. All right, we got 11 people over here. We're gonna keep it going. I just got to end the YouTube one. Forget it. Let's get it. And